Alright guys, welcome back to game number 4 here in the first and possibly the only best of 9 in the Team Arena Challenge Grand Finals. And, well, we'll see what happens here. Thorzane currently up 3-0 for the entire series, has knocked out 3 Terrans in a row, and I think finally Quantic IM, or perhaps it was just IM here, realizing, alright, look, we gotta stop sending Terran players up. Let's send one of our Protosses, and they're sending up Seed here. This is IM Seed, and Seed is actually a really creative player. He's one of these guys that is very tricky about the way he plays, and certainly Protoss is the right race to play if you're gonna play a tricky, deceiving style. For example, there was this game back in the GSL where Seed went for a fake Immortal bust in a Protoss versus Terran, and he hallucinated an Immortal, and his opponent saw that and he was like, oh crap, I'm gonna get Immortal busted. So he built a whole bunch of bunkers, but actually what Seed did was build a Nexus. So he's very deceiving with the way he plays, and he actually ended up winning that game because he just out-expanded his opponent and faked the all-in with the hallucination. We are probably going to see some really tricky and creative play coming out of Seed, and I really like the decision here from, I don't know if it was IM's coach or Quantic's coach or some kind of debate here in between, but I think they decided, hey, Seed has a 70% win rate in Protoss versus Terran. It's his best matchup. Let's send this guy out. Let's stop Thorzane now because Thorzane is on an absolute tear. So I agree with the decision. We'll see what happens here. The map is Daybreak, and this is one of those maps that's very, very intriguing to me. I'll talk a little bit about the map. You have the typical, you know, natural expansion, and you can expand to that, and then you have the third base. But the thing about the third base is it's open to 2 different locations, and the natural still has to be defended by its own right. So you will get up to 2-base play and a lot of aggression, and that third base can be very tricky and hard to hold. But once you have the third, this map can very much quickly dissolve into, or I guess evolve into, not dissolve, but evolve into a very late macro Protoss versus Terran. It can be very, very intense. So we've seen some pretty insane games on this map already. One of the games coming to my mind is, alright, well, I was going to say one of the games coming to my mind was Top versus MVP, but it looks like we're going to have some cheese coming up here from Thorzane, who is switching it up. Not traditionally a type of player that likes to get cheesy, but maybe he just wants to do it because he knows that Seed is potentially a cheesy type of player. Now Seed, by the way, which is a great name, IM Seed, is throwing up, you know, he went for the quick Nexus, throwing up 2 gases now. No cybernetics core yet, but he will probably get that as soon as the gateway finishes. There it is. And we'll see what he does to deal with this tricky barracks play here. Oh my god, Thorzane is just 2-raxing all inning at this point. Both those racks is super early. He's pulling a Foxer here, aka Marine King Prime. Well, you guys remember Marine King Prime back in the old days? He used to be the king of, well, he was called the Marine King. He pulled SCVs and Marines exclusively and crushed his opponent. And, you know, you gotta commend Thorzane for this, you know, thinking on his feet. He saw the fast Nexus. He knows that there's not going to be anything out on the field, and I think he's going to crush this pretty easily. Thorzane could take a very quick 4-0 lead in the series. He's sending his Marines up here. The Zealot is in trouble. Seed is going to have to bring that Zealot back. I am Protoss. I like the name, the proxy name. And now Thorzane building a bunker next to that Nexus. This is troubles for Seed. Seed is pulling his probes off the line here. He's got to surround the Marines, and he cannot allow this bunker to come up. You'd expect him to sick the Zealot on the SCV building the bunker, but there's so many SCVs here already that even if that SCV goes down, it doesn't really matter. Oh my god, Seed is in a lot of trouble. He gets a Stalker out, though. That Stalker could be the savior of Seed. That bunker is almost complete, though. The Marines trying to run inside, but it gets blockaded by the probes, but it doesn't matter. The Marines find a way to leak into the bunker, and now Seed is in a ton of trouble. Oh my god, that bunker is loaded with 3 Marines all firing. The 4th Marine will get inside, nothing to stop that 4th Marine at all, and now a second bunker coming up for Thorzane. So Thorzane certainly in a very, very big position now. I don't think Seed can hold on to this bunker, to be quite honest with you guys. Now he's chrono boosting Warp Gate, but to what end? Is he just going to try to all in on one base? I would suppose so. I mean, at this point, there's no way, no feasible way for him to save this Nexus, unless he pulls all of his probes off the line, but, you know, that might end up costing him the game regardless. So, yeah, he's going to go for a robotics facility. I think he's going to go for some kind of a one-base all-in here. The Nexus is going to be forfeited. Thorzane just has too many units out here. Now, granted, Thorzane did invest a lot into this all-in, These SCVs are not mining, but Thorzane's so clever, man. Look at this. He has built the command center on the low ground. He will macro out of this, also using the Foxer, Marine King Prime signature supply depot lowerage to clear capacity. And oh man, he killed the Stalker as well, so Seed is in so much trouble. The Nexus explodes. The Nexus has gone down. Oh wow, everything, all the cogs and everything part of the Nexus just detonating right there. And now SCV runs up to get a scout off. It did get a full scout. Very intelligent right there from Thorzane to run in there and see exactly what's going on. I don't think he saw the gateway in the back, but it really doesn't matter at this point. I'm pretty sure Thorzane is at a very significant lead now. And oh, the gateway gets canceled. What is Seed planning to do now? He was able to clear out the bunkers at the front door, but what does he have up his sleeve? He just canceled the gateway. Is he going to try to expand out of this? He will try to expand out of this, but there's still Marine and a Barracks back here as well. So Thorzane is going to see the expansion. He's going to know that, well, he's going to know that Seed isn't cheesing him. He's going to know that Seed is going, well, not cheesing. At this point, it would be a desperate all-in. He knows the all-in probably isn't coming because the Nexus is here. So Thorzane feels pretty comfortable with that, I would imagine. I mean, he's already got his Nexus down. He's looking very sharp. Love the missile turret as well. I mean, if you're playing against a desperate Protoss, you gotta expect the possibility of a Dark Templar, and that turret's gonna pretty much provide all the coverage you need for a potential DT harass. Barracks is gonna float in here to make sure this desperate Protoss isn't gonna try something super desperate, and he sees pretty much nothing. He could actually, I think he missed an Immortal right there, so could have seen the Immortal, but it doesn't really matter. He sees the robotics facility, that's all he really needs to know. And Thorzane has got to feel very, very comfortable right now. Did the Marine see the Nexus? Yes, it did. Yeah, this is looking very, very good for Thorzane after all. 35 workers, over 30 production. We can see the research is going into Stimpak right now. That's going to be a critical upgrade for Thorzane to get in Terran versus Protoss. You know, unlike Brood War, which I've been casting a lot of lately. I will, by the way, guys, go back to casting more Brood War. I definitely want to mix it up and get some Brood War up in there. But unlike Brood War, you will see bio units being used in Terran versus Protoss. It's just the way that the game has evolved into. Of course, back in StarCraft Brood War, you would just see all exclusively mech tanks and vultures against Protoss, and that was the way to go against Protoss players. So we'll have to see what Thorzane's going to do here. For now, he looks like he's going to switch into standard biomech. He's got a factory down. He's got a starport as well. 3 barracks. Plenty of production, sitting safe inside those 2 bases. Right now, it looks like, you know, at the very least, Seed has gotten his Nexus down. At the very least, he has been able to kind of get back in this game. But the barracks flooding in one more time. Thorzane knows that shenanigans can be up at any time, and he's going to fly in here just to make sure. And he's going to see 5-gate Robo. So at this point, he should realize, okay, you know, it's probably Seed potentially going to try to go for some kind of a timing attack, but most likely rather than not trying to macro himself out of this very, very desperate situation. So Thorzane should feel pretty comfortable. Since he's got 2 bunkers at the front, he will produce or begin production of medevacs here shortly. Medevacs? Yes, there you go, double medevacs. And the reason why Thorzane isn't going for Vikings is because he hasn't seen Colossus. You want to get Vikings when the Protoss has Colossus out on the field, but if he doesn't, then you just want to go for mass and pure medevacs. And also adding the Ghost Academy down here, which is a wise decision. EMPs are always good. It looks like Seed here will be going for that timing attack I was talking about. You know, it's only 5-gate Robo, but nevertheless, he's going to go for the attack because he knows he's behind right now. He knows he's got to make something happen. So it's a kind of an awkward attack, but it might pay off because Thorzane is pushing out right now. Thorzane is not in the protection of his bunkers. Oh my god, Seed could be one of the luckiest players of all time. Thorzane pushing out here thinking it's his time to attack, and now he's force fielded out of his base. Thorzane in a lot of trouble, just very unlucky for Thorzane, and now all of a sudden Seed might get back in this game. Force fields coming down to cut off the SCVs. I don't know if he really wanted to cut off the SCVs. He should probably save the force fields for this right here, this back ramp. He's got to use force fields to keep this army away. Meanwhile, killing off the SCVs. Yes, he has sent 3 zealots out to dispatch the SCVs right now, and hopefully he keeps his army away. In fact, I think he's got enough to just crush this army as it stands. Yes, he does. Oh my god, Seed with one of the luckiest maneuvers ever, coming around the top right left-hand side of the map, totally unexpected, and Thorzane is going to lose the game now. It does not look good for Thorzane at all. Seed I told you guys, he's one of those unexpected players, and he has made it work quite brilliantly. He's forced to lift off of the orbital command now, and now Thorzane is just on one base. Yes, he saved the orbital command, but essentially only mining off of one, and that will run out pretty soon here. You guys can see those mineral patches below 500, so Seed just gonna push up this ramp, it looks like, kills off a supply depot, may kill off the second one as well. Thorzane just doesn't really attack this location until those units are choked on the ramp, and now I think Thorzane will attack. He's got to make his hold here. You know what, I honestly feel like Seed doesn't need to press his advantage now. I think he can contain the natural, continue to play macro, because he has pulled himself way ahead in this game now, and he can just play it out like that. He doesn't need to bite off more than he can chew. Not too sure why he's falling back into the middle of the map now. I think he's giving Thorzane the ability to breathe and get that natural back down again. So yeah, I don't know why Seed fell back with this entire army. Certainly, you know, he could have force fielded this ramp for days with all the sentries he's got. So is he going to do just that? Yep, his army's coming back right now. Unfortunate for Thorzane right there. That was his opportunity, I think, to go down the ramp. But he just doesn't have enough army to kill off this. So, oh no, he could lose the orbital command. The orbital command's on fire. And the roof is on fire. And it looks like Thorzane going to pick off an immortal for free. Good job by Thorzane right there. That's exactly what he needs to do. Bait, I guess that's the strategy. Bait the Protoss army in with the burning command center, and then try to pick off units as they get too close to the ledge. So not bad right there from Thorzane to, you know, to pick off that immortal. Not too shabby at all. We've got a sparking barracks here producing a solo marine. I'm not too sure what that is there for. I mean, obviously it's there to deny the potential third, but we'll see what Thorzane decides to do with this barracks here. I guess he's just going to float it in to scout. And the probe coming down here to build the eventual nexus is going to get killed off by that marine. So, nice reaction from Thorzane. Gets his stim off, so that probe has no chance of running away. So nice job right there from Thorzane to delay the third. And he has secured the natural. You know, I just don't know why Seed would fall back with this entire army. I guess he was really focused on teching up, and he's going to allow Thorzane to get his space back. And the reason for that, of course, is because Seed is stacking up. He's getting Templar Archives, he's getting Twilight Council, he's researching into Charge Lot Archon eventually, so he's content to give Thorzane back the second because he's about to grab the third, and he's got a tech advantage. But the problem here is that Thorzane has shown his propensity to macro out of a disadvantage before, so I don't know if that was that wise to give Thorzane the natural again. We'll see if it comes back to bite him in the butt or not, because now I definitely think Thorzane can get back into things. He's researching the Mobius reactor. That is, of course, the upgrade that allows the Ghost to get enough energy to EMP right away. It's a very handy upgrade to have. A couple of Marauders here stemming up to chase down the Zealot, and now with the concussive shells, that Zealot is going to get picked off. And I'm very shocked that Seed has not grabbed the Nexus yet. Not too sure what he's waiting for. Is he just going to wait for some kind of super two-base push here with all the army he's got? He's about to finish Templar Archives. I really don't know why he hasn't warped into the third Nexus yet. I think now he's going to finally get that Nexus down. And yes, that's quite a few Zealots, and yes, that SCV will go down. So yes, now's your time, Seed, to get the Nexus, get the third, start to macro, and really build a solid advantage out of this game, because Thorzane's getting his third command center, and we've seen Thorzane catch up regardless of the situation. He can get back in this game. So yeah, there we go. The Nexus finally on the way. Now, we shall see if these Templars are going to come in handy or not. Obviously, Storm could rip apart this Marine Marauder ball, but the balancing factor here are the Ghosts, already with Mobius Reactor. Thorzane's going to look to EMP those Templars, especially if they're grouped up. And it's very important here for the Protoss player to keep the Templars separated. If he can, get a couple feedbacks on the Ghosts to prevent the EMP, and also perhaps a Carpet Storm the Terran army. So we'll see what happens here. There is no cloak quite yet, so these Ghosts cannot go undercover. And here comes the engagement. The Ghosts, are they going to launch EMPs? Not yet. It looks like he's saving the energy for the EMP. He shoots one EMP off, but misses the Templars. And now here comes the Storm. Beautiful play by Seed. Just keeping the Templar in the back, knowing that Ghosts were out there, just baiting the Ghosts, just waiting for that EMP to come out. And when the EMP missed, he went in for the Storm. And now really securing a solid position in the middle of Daybreak is Seed. I love how he's controlling the Xel'Naga Tower. I love how he's warped in a pylon now, and he's got so many Templars coming in with not all four. That would be very unwise. He's coming in with a couple Templars. Oh, beautiful storm from the Templar that comes in the front. And now it looks like Seed, if he can continue to storm away this army, he can whittle down the entire HP of that Bio Ball. And you know, even though Thorzain's got 5 medevacs in the air, they don't have unlimited energy. They will eventually run out, and it takes time to recharge that. And if Seed can just continually get those beautiful storms off, he can definitely push Thorzain back. But look at the ghosts! Thorzain's got 11 ghosts? Are you kidding me? Oh, maybe not 11, that's 9 ghosts, but are you kidding me? This is what Thorzain is so good at. He is so good with ghosts. In the late game, you will almost always see Thorzain getting mass ghosts, and he's so good with it. This is actually really scary for a Protoss army to deal with, and I really think it would be wise here for Seed, maybe not to engage into a 9 or so ghosts, but rather switch into Colossus now. Colossus are obviously very resistant to ghosts. I mean, you know, as good as ghosts are, their abilities aren't very well suited to dealing with a massive walking death unit. So I definitely think going for a Colossus switch here would be very wise on Seed's part. It looks like his army's going to go in here. There's so many ghosts, though. Couple force fields going down. Very nice force fields, chopping that army in half. But there goes the mass carpet EMP shockwave. But it's not enough. It's not enough. Seed has just got too many Protoss armies. Continue to push that army back. We heard a couple of snipes going off. Those ghosts are being used so effectively. But it looks like Thorzain lost most of his ghosts there. He's only got 2 ghosts left alive, so in fact, Seed coming out huge in that battle, I think just by being able to whittle down the large number of ghosts on the field right there is very, very key. Ghosts essentially kind of like the valuable Templars, kind of like a Colossus, if you will. You keep that ghost count down, and it's much easier to deal with the Terran army in the late game. And now Seed's going to continue his attack here, but this might be a little bit unwise. He gets all of his Templar storm, but he gets the EMPs off, or the storms off nevertheless. But his army not big enough, I don't think, to deal with this Terran wall. Look at the random Archon being worked inside that bio ball. But yeah, I feel like Seed right now just doesn't have enough of an army. You know what? Unbelievably, Thorzain is back in this game, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot believe my eyes, even though Seed has an extra base. Yes, but Thorzain, I think, is right back in this game. And in fact, if he can get the 4th base up and running, which he's building the command center right now, then he can certainly start to overpower Seed. And what a brilliant job done by Thorzain. Even though he lost a large majority of his ghosts, I guess it was okay, because he was able to kill off, you know, a lot of Templars. He was able to kill off a lot of that Protoss army. So not bad at all by Thorzain to get back into fighting shape. And now what is Seed going to do? Wow, that's a lot of gateways. And he's going for a Warp Prism of his own and Dark Shrine. So I kind of like that strategy in the late game. Always pretty annoying to go right into Warp Prism and DTs. Very hard for Terrans to deal with that unless they have great missile turret coverage, which right now Thorzain really doesn't. So we could see some DT action momentarily, but it looks like Thorzain gearing up with his 9 ghosts once again. Look at how fast he rebuilds those ghosts up, and he could go in for a major attack here. Watch him send the ghosts in first. No, he's not. He's actually going to come in with his army. Stormed goes down, but he snipes the Templar right away, so that Templar has no chance to recycle into an Archon. And it looks like Seed is going to try to get a major storm off. He gets a double feedback off on a couple of ghosts. Not bad at all. I like that play. He kills off 2 full energy ghosts. And that is going to really help. Now the ghost count has definitely whittled down, I think. We'll see what happens here. It looks like Thorzain's just got way too good of a position. He's going to kill off the Nexus. Oh my god, that just went out without even a fight from Seed. Seed is getting overwhelmed right now by Thorzain. Here comes all the ghosts. They're all cloaked, and they just sniped out all the Templars. Once again, Thorzain just dominating play. Now he's carpet EMP bombs the Protoss army, but a couple of Templars coming in from the right. Get a storm off. Those Marauders are very, very weak, but there's too many medevacs up in the air, and the Marauder Ghost medevac combination too sturdy for storms, and Seed loses the 4th Nexus, loses his entire army. And now all of a sudden Thorzain looking to be in prime shape to go down to the bottom right and pick off another Nexus. Oh my god. Thorzain, you are a baller. 2 armor, 3 weapons on the bio right now. He's going to pick off that Nexus essentially for free. No resistance whatsoever. Seed is at 3-1. He has not been keeping up with his weapons upgrades, but he's about to get +2. But does it matter? He has lost 2 Nexi. And, you know, Thorzain's on the 4th now. He's landed that 4th down, and he's got plenty of production to go with it. A little bit of overcrowded SCV action here, but those SCVs hopefully will go over and start mining the new base soon enough. And there is the Dark Templar coming into play. I was expecting to see DTs at some point in this game. Is the Warp Prism still in the skies? Not too sure where that Warp Prism was. I'm assuming, unfortunately, it went down, so I do apologize. I didn't catch the Warp Prism for you guys, but there was quite a bit going on. Now, these 2 DTs... Can they get something back for Seed? Unlikely with the missile turret coming up right now. So, yeah. It looks like Seed's idea here to go into DTs and the Warp Prism unfortunately gets shut down. Another Dark Templar here being dispatched as the Guardian for the new birthing Nexus, but he didn't kill off the Marine, which is truly the guy who's going to kill off the probe here. Yeah, that probe's not going to get that Nexus down, unfortunately. And yeah, going to have to go away. So Thorzane taking control of the middle of the map, but supplies are still dead even, 140 to 140 about. And, you know, Seed is still in this game. Don't get me wrong, guys. He's got a Charge Lot Templar DT army right now. See if he can make this work or not. Charge Lot's running up in here. The Ghost getting picked off first, but the EMP goes off on the Templar. There is a Templar still full energy, but it gets sniped before it could go in and launch a storm. That was a very smart and reactive play by Thorzane, realizing the imminent threat of a storm, picks it off, and now he drops a comsat to pick off the retreating Dark Templar as well. Thorzane is on top of it, and I cannot believe how Thorzane got back in this game. Recall, guys, at one point he was stranded on one base, no hope in hell, and he got back in this game. Cannot believe it. So Seed now going to lose the 4th Nexus once again, it looks like. Yes, forces the cancel, and Thorzane is just kind of flying around right now with this army of 9 medevacs, tons of Marauders and Ghosts. It's really a strong army right now, and I don't know how Seed's gonna deal with this. He's still opting to go for Templar. Look at how many Templar he's got. Oh my god. But why go for Templar if your opponent's already got Ghosts? It doesn't make sense. All this gas could have been invested into Colossi. Maybe he just never wanted to invest into the support bait, but I really feel like Colossi... Look at, there's no Vikings in the field right now. A Colossus switch would be absolutely prime. But I guess Seed just not thinking on the same page as I am. I don't know. We'll have to see. He's just going to have to be very lucky with the storms and hope to land them down on this Terran army. Can he do it or not? Oh no, another EMP and a double snipe. And unfortunately, Ghosts, their range is a little bit further than a Templar's range. So you really have to get lucky with those Templars if you're going to try to storm that army apart. And it's not looking good at all. A random DT coming in. The comsat goes down immediately. He sees the blur. Snipe, kills off the Templar as well. A couple of Ghosts getting a little bit too up close and personal, though. That could bode well for Seed. But no, all Thorzane's doing here is pushing a little bit and then finding an avenue to attack the 4th Nexus for the 3rd time today. So his whole strategy here is to place a trade embargo over Seed to pick off... Oh! That Ghost goes down. A trade embargo over Seed to just keep Seed on 3 bases, and eventually this 3rd base, you know, it's going to run out of money. It's not going to be thriving forever. Whereas Thorzane is on 4th base. And here we go, big attack here, good concave from Seed. This is Seed's magical moment. Can he make it happen? But reinforcements coming in. Oh my god! Those reinforcements are going to shut down these Templars. No, not enough. There's too many Templars here, not enough Ghosts, and all of a sudden, it looks like Seed getting back in this game. He storms a Marauder army, and he's got to stay away from these Ghosts, so those Ghosts are so deadly. And Seed right now is just trying to escape the wrath of the Ghosts here, expending his storms wherever possible, and he will make it out away from those deadly Ghosts. In fact, the Ghosts ran out of energy, so Thorzane had to fall back, but unbelievably, Seed going for the mass Templar play. He just had more Templars than Thorzane had Ghosts, and he was able to overwhelm that Terran army. Beautiful storms, really well played right there, and all of a sudden, this game is up in the air, guys. I think that Seed is right back into it if he can establish his 4th, but for the final time, just save the 4th for the love of God and keep it alive, and he might have a chance, but Thorzane's so smart here, gonna grab another base, and this is really good too, because this base is basically a staging point into the Protoss 4th. It's kind of a double-edged sword though, because it is right next to the Protoss as well, so it's risky for Thorzane, and we'll have to see how this is going to play out, but this is getting really, really intense. Now the supply's dead, even 107, 105. It was 103 up for each a moment ago, but wow, I really don't know how this is going to go down right now. Both players' upgrades fairly even as well. Thorzane actually maxed out. Seed, yes, maxed out as well. He just maxed out. So Seed also has quite a few Archons. Let's see how many he's got. 3 Archons, 8 Templar. Oh my god, he actually, well, he for a second there had more Templar than Thorzane had Ghosts, and we see how important that is. If you've got more Templar than Ghosts, and you spread them out, and you use them right, then you can overpower that army. But it is a very tall order, and now Thorzane has more Ghosts and Templar, so all of a sudden, that really swings back into Thorzane's favor. Also, patrolling that SCB on the top, checking for a potential expansion, but really I think Seed here is just sticking on this solo base in the bottom right, and he's setting up a potential concave here with his army, trying to wrap around the Terran army, it looks like, and that's very smart. You guys realize in that last battle, the reason why Seed won is because his Templar weren't all jumbled in with one big ball. You've got to spread out, kind of like a Zerg mindset, and that's what he's doing here. He's attacking from 2 different angles, gets a storm off once again. Templar coming in from the top here. He's got to get another storm off. Can he do it? The ghosts are there. The ghosts are unable to snipe the Templar, but the Templar whiffed the storms, and now using feedback on enemy ghosts that come in for the reinforcements. All the ghosts have now cloaked up. They are on a cybernetic stealth mission to hold off this attack, and can they do it? Yes, they will. And Thorzane holds on to this base that was so important. He's going to pick off a few free Templar as well, and that suddenly swings things back into Thorzane's favor. And now this bottom right Nexus, man, it has gotten a death sentence this entire game. I don't see that changing anytime soon, unless Seed can hang on to this. He's got to hang on to this, in fact, otherwise he's out of the game. He just can't hope to stay toe-to-toe with Thorzane, who, by the way, guys, is banking almost 2,500 gas. That's a lot of ghosts if you think about it. Ghosts, pretty much the requirement is gas, and with that much gas, well, that means that Thorzane can produce 4 ghosts at a time. And so this ghost count is just going to be absolutely overwhelming for Seed to deal with. Seed now getting those assimilators down. He knows he's got to get his gas count up as well to stand toe-to-toe so he can get enough Templars out. And let's check that income tab right now. Yeah, both players very, very low on gas intake. It's okay for Thorzane, though, because he's got so much banked. But nevertheless, both players really dwindling down at intake right now. And wow, Thorzane's army very, very big. So is Seed's. Look at how many Archons he's got on the field. Now, granted, those Archons can get whittled down very quickly by a couple of Carpet Storms, but it still forces these ghosts to expend Storm on Archons rather than Templar. And that's what Seed is trying to do. He's trying to get a magical Storm off here. The perfect Storm, if you will. Just lost the Nexus in the middle. Not good. We've seen this countless times already from Thorzane, but it looks like Seed going to prepare for, once again, the Zerg flank from left and right. Can he do it or not? It looks like Thorzane beginning to spread out his ghosts. All his ghosts are going to the north right now, and the ghosts getting attacked by charge out there, observers up there, so the ghosts have got to run away. They are running away, but there's an observer there. The ghosts in a lot of trouble. The Archons doing a ton of damage. Oh my god, Thorzane in a lot of trouble, but it looks like he's got reinforcements. And will Seed be able to kill off the orbital? He's got to finish off this orbital, but it lifts off in the last second from Thorzane. Thorzane saves the orbital command. So despite Seed having an advantage there in that battle, beautiful engage from Seed, he was unable to accomplish the goal of killing off the orbital command. And now Thorzane, you know, really essentially both armies traded and collided, but Seed didn't get the end goal. So Thorzane's got to be happy with that. I mean, he barely saved this command center. My god, he lifted it off at the very last second to keep it alive. I mean, things would have swung so much differently. If Seed had killed off that orbital, I really think he blundered right there. Just, if he kept the Archons and the Zealots attacking this orbital, he would have finished it off. But as it stands, Thorzane's still in this game in a major way. Dark Templar kills off random SCV at the top. Potentially going to see another Nexus coming up there soon. I don't know if Seed wants to barrel everything up into a ramp, though. He's got to spread out once again. Oh my god, there's a ghost on an assassination mission here coming from the back. This could be deadly for Seed, but Seed is going to engage nevertheless. His charge out's in a wonderful position. Storm's whipping the Templars, and now the Templars can get a Storm off. Beautiful Storm hits all the ghosts, and now I think, though, Thorzane still has too many ghosts and Marauders, so this will push Seed back to the right again. Gotta be careful here is Seed, because he could lose a lot of ghosts, a lot of Templar on the retreat, and that would not be good at all. He's distance mining the central Nexus now at this point. Doesn't even want to bother building it because he's lost it so many times this game. Who can blame him? But my god, he is struggling for gas right now. He's struggling to stay toe-to-toe with Thorzane, who, you know, he has been spending that gas like a boss. He's building those ghosts still, at least 3 at a time. Still looking very good, but honestly, this game could go either way. I really don't know what's going to happen here. All Seed has got to do is get a beautiful engage from the south and north, get that flank going again, and get a good storm off, the perfect storm, like I said before. Can he do it or not? And Thorzane, on the other hand, just got to whittle down gotta weather the storm. He's got to continue to survive and fight, be a survivor. Can he do it? Here comes the attack once again. There's so many ghosts there. Comsat goes down. He's trying to pick off the observers with the Vikings. He picks off the final observer, so now his ghosts can go cloaked and undetected. That's a huge play from Thorzane. Very nice to mix in those Vikings Vikings last second, and now these Ghosts can go have a heyday. And you guys can see right now the Protoss player trying to desperately chrono boost a new observer out. In fact, not even chrono boosting it, that's a mistake. He needs an observer to see the cloaked Ghost, and now his army completely out of position. Thorazine can pick off the bottom right nexus, no problem. And that was a blunder right there by Seed. And really just a beautiful play by Thorazine to pick off the observer. That was very smart. And the Nexus is going to go down. Now, a couple of Ghosts on the backside as well. They EMP the Archons. Seed is in a lot of trouble. Everything has been EMP'd. And there's the GG. There's the GG. So Thorazine coming in with the last second Viking and picks off the observer. That was absolutely clutch, and that allowed him to win the game. What a back and forth battle between these two guys. I think that was definitely the best game of the set so far. And Thorazine on the verge of all killing Quantic IM. This is unbelievable, guys. Now, remember, if Mouse Sports, represented by Thorazine here, gets that all kill, it goes into an extended series. There will be a second best of 9 to determine the winner of Team Arena Challenge and the grand final. So hope you guys stay tuned. There will be a game 5 coming up after this. Thorazine against who's up next? We'll just have to wait and see. HD signing out.